This is White Line from Deuces Cracked, and this is going to be the eighth and final episode of my series 2x6 with Vanessa. And in this episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 1-2 PLO six-handed for about an hour, and I'm going to try to incorporate some of the new things that I've learned in working with Vanessa and basically give you guys a look at what my thought process is right now. And hopefully it has improved over the course of these 7 episodes that I've already done. Okay, so right here on the left, this is going to be a playable hand. We have a suited ace with kings. Debating whether I want to just make a small raise right now. I think I'm going to make a small raise and just build the pot up. This was one of the things that I think Vanessa and I touched upon. Is that in situations like this, it's better to just make like a small raise rather than making a pot size raise from the button, because it gives you more maneuverability in position and makes the other guy more likely to fold if he doesn't hit a nut hand or a premium draw. Right here, we pretty much completely missed this flop, and the guy leads out pots. I'm just going to fold here. Right here on the left, this is garbage. We're just going to fold that. And this here on the right, I think I'll play this against the small blind. Yeah, I'm just going to check now. So we have a gut shot, and we have top pair. But with the guy betting into me, I'm just going to fold this. If the small blind checked, I probably would have stabbed at the pot once and seen if anything developed, and probably would have given up on the turn. I'm just going to fold this. If it was suited to the ace, I'd probably play it, but just suited to a 7 is probably not going to be worth playing under the gun. And this hand, I guess we have 10s double suited. I'm just going to complete this. So we have a flush draw, we have a gut shot to the non-nuts. The flush draw isn't to the nuts either. But this seems like a board where if no one flopped the nuts, there's a good chance we can just take this down with a pot size bet. So I'm going to take one stab at it. With a bunch of uncoordinated cards here at the bottom, I'm just going to fold this. With 3 limpers, I think if the deuce was like an 8 or a 10 or something like that, I'd probably play that from the button there with a limp. And this on the left, this is complete garbage. This on the right, I'm also going to fold this with the dangler. That was one of the things that Vanessa definitely stressed upon me, is that having a dangler in your hand really, really devalues your hand. And it can also, playing hands without danglers against opponents who are going to play with the hand with the dangler can create lots of different situations for you where you can get your money in with like the same draw, except bigger. So you're almost free rolling in situations where you can get it in like that. Right here, this is trash on the left. Let's take a look at that last hand that went down. I guess we'll play this one first. And then we have a pretty good hand on the left too. Again, if the gap was lower, it'd be much better, but still a playable hand. Just gonna pot out here with just one guy. He's got a pretty short stack, and then I can stab at the flop once, and I think I should have more fold equity this way. I'm gonna stab once and then just give up because we completely miss this flop. Bet 11. So right here we flopped a non-nut flush draw, and we flopped top pair, and the guy let out pot, so I'm just gonna give this up. Right here I'm gonna check fold here too. I'm curious if in that last hand I should have bet again. I mean, we have a flush draw, although it's an 8 high flush draw on a paired board, so I don't think it's worth much. But I think the fact that the king paired might cause him to pretty much fold most of his draws right there, because he wouldn't be drawing to the nuts anymore. So I think we're only going to get called in this spot if he's got trip kings or better. So I wonder if I should have bet out there. Again, I haven't played enough hands of PLO to have a feel for how often the guy's going to have a king and how often he's going to have a draw in a situation where he just calls my flop bet. But I think check fold was probably fine there. Right here, this hand is pretty worthless. I guess both of them, so I'm just going to fold them. Again, we had garbage there on the left. 8-6-6-3 is pretty worthless. This hand on the right sucks too. I'm just going to fold this. Even on the button, again, this hand sucks with a small pair. I guess this is a little bit better, but this is probably unplayable as well, so I'm just going to fold that. Again, with a small pair, this would probably be playable from the button, I think, with 3-5-6. I'm just going to fold it from the cutoff. Wonder if I'm playing too tight right now. Again, a couple of uncoordinated cards here. Even though we're double suited, I'm just going to fold. Same thing. We have a couple of danglers here. I'm just gonna fold that. I guess this hand's a little bit better. I'd probably play it against a small blind, maybe repot the button because I've just been playing so tight. I'm just gonna check now. The two limpers. So we have the nut flush draw, we have top pair, and we have a gut shot. I'm just gonna pot out here. This hand on the left, double suited. I'm just gonna limp this. I don't even know if this is playable. This might just be a fold. And we pretty much completely missed. I was gonna pot out if that guy didn't bet, just to take one stab at the pot, because I think this is a spot where if some guy didn't flop a flush, there's a good chance we can take it down with one bet. But right now, facing a bet, I'm obviously just gonna fold. Looks like this guy's disconnected. If this guy repots it here, um, wonder if my hand is strong enough to just stick it in here. Because if he's got top two, um, my jack and king, there's a good chance those could be outs that might be good also. Right here, I'm just gonna call. We're gonna get a multi-way pot here. And we completely missed. And I don't think that's a board I can bluff on, considering that guy raised pre-flop. So I'm just gonna check fold here. Alright, so now we turn the nuts. I'm gonna bet a little bit less than pot, but this should still size the pot up so that I can get all in by the river. And we're all in. Or we're gonna put that guy all in. He had the queen high flush. This I'm just gonna fold on the button. If the three was like a seven or an eight or something like that, I would definitely pot it up. I'm gonna get on a wait list in case this game breaks down. From the button, even with the dangler, I'm just gonna pot this up, especially because the game's playing three-handed now, so I guess I should loosen up a bit. This is not very good on the left, so I'm just gonna fold, and then I'm gonna fold this on the right also. This seems like a decent hand. We have Jack 10, 10, 9 with one suit. On a few wait lists to see if we can get on a different table. These guys seem to be playing kind of tight, and there's a good chance this game might just break up any second now. Looks like we got some new blood now. Um, this on the left, I'm gonna fold. Again, I think I'd probably play that from the button or something like that. And then this on the right, I'm gonna fold also. So this guy Cold Blood 88, looks like he's on both of my tables right now. So he's probably some sort of a regular, um, with some clue as to what he's doing. So we have Ace King 6-6. Not a very good hand, but I would complete if it limped around to me. Worse hand here on the right. I'm just gonna fold. Trip 6 is obviously we're gonna fold that. I just want to see what my pre-flop stats are right now. So I'm about a 21-12, which is probably slightly tighter than I'd like to be playing ideally, but I think that's probably just a result of me just not getting very many good hands pre-flop, rather than me folding hands that I should probably be playing. Alright, so this is a pretty good hand here on the left. And we haven't really been doing much, so I'm going to repot if this guy opens. Alright, so I'm going to repot him here. See if we can get ourselves into an interesting spot. Alright, so we completely missed. But I'm going to fire out once. I'm going to bet 32. And then, obviously, if he puts in any sort of a raise, we're completely done with this hand. But we take it down. I'm not even going to complete this if there's a limper, just because this seems pretty worthless. If the nines were something like queens, I'd probably complete it, but I don't think this hand is worth anything. Same thing on the left, pretty worthless hand. So let's see what's going on here. I guess this guy raised and then Vetiver called on the button. I assume that was the preflop action. We can check after the hand is over. And he bets at 3/4 pot, and he gets raised. Oh, he calls. I think at this point, Vetiver either had like ace nine on the flop, or he was just bluffing or semi bluffing. 7, 8. Wow. And the other guy had king, king, queen, queen, double suited. So let's see. I guess so. This guy's got a flush draw. He's got a four adder to make a nut boat. Um, and then if the other guy was bluffing, I feel like there's a good chance he might shut down. So I guess his play might be okay on the flop to call the raise, and then check fold the turn it unimproved. Also, I wonder if Vetiver should have value bet it straight on the river right there. I feel like if the other guy was full, he would have definitely bet out on the river there. So I wonder if that's a value bet. I'd probably bet the straight, I think. All right, so again, we have a dangler here. So I'm just gonna fold this. From the button, I'd probably play this. Some more garbage. If he checks, I'm gonna stab at this once. We have a gut shot. And depending on the turn card, I might keep barreling. We'll see. This is pretty worthless. I'm gonna fold that. Going back to the other hand, I wonder which cards I should be barreling on the turn if he check calls the flop. Um, I think I think on the turn, let's see if he check calls the flop. I'm not really sure what types of hands um in a heads up pot like that someone's normally going to bet out and which one he's going to check call with. But I assume when he check calls, he's usually not very strong. So I'm inclined to just say I want to bet out on pretty much any turn card, but that can't be right. An ace probably seems like a bad turn card to bet out on. I'm gonna pot the king double suited up here on the button, just because I think that might be a decent part of his range when he check calls. A 10 on the other hand, I think might be a decent card to barrel because it might counterfeit him if he has ace deuce, and also at the same time it'll make him fold his draws because the board now pairs. I'm gonna stab at this once, and then possibly keep firing. We'll see. And I'm pretty sure any paint card, obviously if I make the nuts on the turn, I'm gonna bet out. But even if a queen or a king hits, I'm pretty sure I'd bet that too if he checks because that puts a straight out there, and I think that will make him fold if he doesn't have the straight or a big two pair. So I think I'm probably gonna keep firing there on most turns. I mean, the cards are coordinated here, but again, they're all very small, so all of the straights and straight draws that we flop are normally not going to be to the nuts. I'm just going to fold that. I'm just going to check this out of the big blind. This is pretty trashy. I'm going to stab at this once again. I think this is the type of board that if someone doesn't have 4 or 5, there's a good chance I can just take it down with a bet. An ace hits. I'm gonna pot fold. I think if he's got some sort of a straight draw at this point, he probably mucks it. I'm gonna shove it in here, or I'm gonna make a pot size bet here on the river. I feel like he would have raised me at some point if he had 4 or 5. I think it's very likely for him to have some sort of a 2 pair made by the ace. He could also have picked up hearts on the turn, which caused him to call again, along with like his straight draw on the flop. So let's see what happens there. I'm gonna repot this with the dangler that we have here. Yeah, it worked out. Uh, Here we go. So I feel like he has aces here like 95% of the time, or probably like 98% of the time. Um, so I'm gonna call the 69, and then if we have enough equity against the aces post flop, we're gonna get it in. And that doesn't really help, so I'm just gonna check fold. Wonder if I should probably be folding to his 4-bet pre-flop there too, I bet. I don't know. That's something I need to look into, is what sorts of odds I need with a hand like that. Knowing that my opponent has aces to be able to call pre-flop to try and outdraw him. I'm just gonna limp this. I wonder if I should just be folding that with the small cards. But they're coordinated and double suited, I guess. So we flop bottom set. If it checks around to me, I'm gonna pot it. If someone bets out, I'm just gonna fold this because we really can't make any sort of a hand that we're comfortable with, other than turning a 3 here. And I mean, there are a bunch of draws out there, and this guy called also, so there's a good chance even if um, the board pairs, we might not have the best hand still. Okay, so this is a pretty good hand. I'm going to pot this up. And let's see. Didn't hit much here. But I'm gonna pot or bet close to pot once. If he puts in some sort of a raise, I'm done with it. And if he calls, we'll see what happens on the turn. We might keep firing. Just gonna check here. Wonder if I should probably raise that up. I think we'll see. I mean, based on his stats, I don't think he can ever have aces full here. So I think we have the best hand. Gonna put in a raise here. I'm just gonna call here. See if we can let that guy into the pot too and overset someone. Here we go. Just gonna lead out here. I wonder if I should have went for a check raise there. I feel like there's a good chance he bets that board if it checks around to him. Yeah, I think if the three was like a 6 or like an 8 or something like that, or a 9 even, I think that might be a much better board to just lead out. But this board with no flush draws and not much of any straight draws other than something like 4, 5, 6. I probably should have just checked that and then either check raised or check called. So we're definitely going to play this hand here on the right. Based on this guy's stats, I think there's a very good chance he can have aces here. So I'm gonna min re-raise him and get him to repot, and then we're gonna call and then get it all in on a flop that we like. Wonder if this is gonna work. Oh my god, he disconnected. Come on, dude. Reconnect and repot me with your aces. And this is trash on the left. We're gonna fold that. Oh, he's back. There we go. Alright, so let's see if we hit something. And then we're gonna get all in. I think this is good enough. I'm just gonna pot out because I don't think we're a favorite here. So we want him to fold, obviously, but I think we have enough equity here that we can get all in. He mucked aces to me. If he has hearts there, I think I'm in bad shape. But as long as he doesn't, I think I'm generally okay here. I'm just gonna limp the aces here because we don't have much of anything else, and want to try to overset someone. And then if someone puts in a big raise or a re-raise, I'll just come over the top. Just look to get as much of my stack in as possible. Yeah, now I'm gonna put in a re-raise here. So I'm gonna be able to get in like a quarter of his stack. I don't know if that's enough here, but the short stack's gonna be all in. We have some coordinated small cards, I guess, that we can make a small straight with. I'll play this from the button. We also have a suited ace. But from any other position, I'd probably just fold this. Having the small pair in our hand obviously does not help us much. So that guy's going in the tank. Here we go. We got it in pretty good. Oh, he hit a straight. So we have a bunch of gaps here between our cards. Even though we're double suited, I'm just gonna fold here. This is trash. We're just gonna fold that. Guy's on fire. I guess he just made quads right after doubling through me. Six, 4, 3, one suit. I guess I'll limp this on the button. And I'm gonna stab at most flops, I think, that check around to me. So we have a gut shot here, a pair, and that's it. But if it checks around, I'm just gonna mash pot once, and possibly more depending on what happens. This is an okay hand, I guess. I'll definitely play this from the cutoff. I'd probably play that from any position, I think. 6, 8, 8, 10. Alright, so we get repotted by this guy. We only have 20 hands on him right now. So he doesn't necessarily have to have aces here. That guy cold calls, we're gonna call. I'm gonna pot actually I'm just gonna limp this and see if we can overset someone. Because our side cards are not really worth much there. He checks. Just gonna check back here. We have a gut shot to the non-nuts, and we have middle pair and a backdoor flush draw. All right, so now we made a set, but that puts a straight draw out there, or that puts a possible straight out there. So he raises out of the blinds and then checks it to me. I'm definitely gonna bet here. We have a flush draw. We have queens also. I'm gonna bet here with the set of eights. If I just don't expect anyone to have a straight here. We have a 7-7-4. I'm just gonna fold there. Again here on the left, I'm just gonna limp, see if we can overset someone or make a bigger flush than someone else. And I'm just gonna check this from the big blind. Let's see, we flopped a straight draw. We don't have an ace in our hand, so a lot of it is into the nuts. Or I guess a 10 doesn't give us the nuts here. But I'm gonna pot out once. Alright, I'm done with it now, obviously. So like any ace, jack, 10, or 9 would have given us a straight there, but um, both a jack and a 10 would not have given us a nut straight. And then even if we hit a 9, if someone's got ace, jack, 10, they have a redraw against us. I'm going to complete this, 4, 5, 7. Pot out once. We're double gutted here. We also have a pair. Alright, so now we have two pair. I'm just going to check fold here just because this guy is so tight that I think he's probably got a pretty strong hand here. And I'm going to check fold again. It's a good chance this guy's got ace-x, giving him two pair. Pot the aces here on the left. Yeah, I mean, I can't really see much that he calls us on the flop with that we'd be pretty much nothing. So he wins. This hand is worthless, so I'm just going to fold. And this isn't that great, but I'll play it from the button here for a limp. And then again, if it checks around at me on the flop, I'm going to play very aggressively. So we hit middle pair, and that's pretty much it here. We have some backdoor straight draws, but it's going to be pretty hard to make a nut straight. But I'm gonna pot out when they check to me. Now we got trips. The king kicker against this guy. Just gonna bet again, and then let me see. I don't know if I should be calling it off if he puts in a raise here. Wonder if I should check back here. I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna pot this up here on the right. This is pretty good. I feel like if he had Queen 10, he would have put in some sort of a raise on the flop. So I'm not so worried about that. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna bet out once here. If no one has a 5, I'm pretty sure they're all just gonna fold here. And if someone has a 5, they're obviously gonna call a raise. But I think I can get a cheap stab at the pot there. I probably could have bet something even less than 27, I think. I'm gonna fold now, obviously. Again, it'd be nice to have a suit here, but I'm gonna play this. I think we're pretty much hoping for some sort of a rainbow board here. 'Cause having flush draws out there, I think is really gonna kill our equity with this hand. Gonna call and then get it in on most favorable flops if we hit anything. This is gross. I'm just gonna check fold. I'm just gonna call the kings here. And it looks like we flopped a gut shot. We flopped a pair of jacks. I'm gonna call just because he bets a little, and maybe he'll shut down if he just didn't hit a piece of this board. I mean, given that we hold two of the kings here, I don't think it's likely for him to have king 10, but I guess it's likely that he's got pocket aces here, and I don't think he's gonna fold that. I'm just gonna give this to him right now. Again, I think that might have been a hand where I probably could have just mucked the flop, but I don't know. All right, so right here, double suited with a pair of tens, and one of the suits to the ace. I'm gonna play this if someone raises. Um, but otherwise, I'm just gonna check it and take a flop. And I'm gonna pot out here and see if we can just take this down. I'm probably gonna complete this. If someone raises, I'm just gonna fold with the four in our hand. Also, it looks like we're about coming up on an hour, so I'm gonna play out till my blind there, and then I guess I'll post my big blind here, and then play out one more orbit, and then I'm gonna be done. Um, in the forum and I guess comment section associated with this video, please feel free to give me advice as well as any criticism of any play that I might have made in this video, because obviously I'm still learning this game, and I mean, half of what I say is probably uh, still not completely sound logic yet because I just don't have enough experience with this game. But I definitely want to hear what your thoughts are on how I played. If you have a lot of PLO experience. Just gonna fold this. I'm not even gonna complete that. And then this on the right, on the left rather, is a little bit better. I'm definitely gonna play this from the button. I'm just gonna pot it up. I'm curious what my preflop stats are now. I'm still at about a 22-12. So it looks like we flopped a. I guess we only have a gut shot to the nuts here. We have a pair. I'm just gonna check this back and see if we can hit something on the turn there. Nope. I'm just gonna check again. We have a pair here. Not really sure if we can even get him to fold a jack at this point. If he checks here, I'm probably gonna pot it because I think I have pretty good fold equity to get him to fold like a jack. And I'm not even sure if he calls me with a king here. But given that he bets out, I just fold. Another pretty good hand here. I'm just gonna pot it up. Just gonna check here. Probably check it down. We'll see if he bets. I'm gonna call once and see if he shuts down. Doesn't really make sense for him to have too many hands that he plays with a 3 in them. Yeah. He was just stabbing once, I think. Alright, so I'm done with this left table. Here we go. We have aces here. Not much help on the side. I guess we're suited, but it's only to the jack. I'd probably limp this under the gun. I think I'm going to limp it UTG +1 as well. And then from the cutoff or the button, I think I'd probably just pot it up. Again, this guy is very tight. So I expect him to have some sort of premium hand. He could have aces as well here. I don't think I can get him to repop me with anything less than aces, though. So I'm just gonna call here. And we flop 2 pair here. We have a backdoor flush draw, and we also have aces. I'm gonna repot this and get it in. This might not be that good against this guy, but I don't think there's much we're worried about other than him having a pair of jacks here. Yeah. Okay, and that's it for the right table. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 8, and hope you guys enjoyed Vanessa and I's series. And stay tuned for season 3.